Drake's The Heart Part 6 is a white flag and appears to be the ending of the greatest and frankly one of the darkest hip-hop beefs in history. Real ones, get on in here and let me know what y'all think, because it has been a whirlwind of a week. I was on the live last night and some of us disagreed, some of us agreed, we went back and forth, but the fact that we were able to come together, the real ones, y'all really showed out for me, so I appreciate that. Let's get into The Heart Part 6. This is Drake adding a chapter to Kendrick Lamar's lauded freestyle series, and it honestly treads on some interesting territory. And my read on this is that it's a punch-drunk boxer trying to score some points at the end of a route where they are getting their ass whooped. Because I feel like Drake is rapping on this, but to what end? First, Drake opens with the note basically saying that he has been feeding Kendrick Lamar all of this information the whole time. He comes out confidently saying this: "The ones that you're getting your stories from, they all clowns. I am a war general, seasoned in preparation. My jacket is covered in medals, honor and decoration. You waited for this moment, overcome with desperation." Then Drake leans into the fact that he was planting information. This was a theory that had sprouted up on the internet, and at first when I read it, it seemed far-fetched. And to be quite honest, it feels like Drake himself read this and was like, yeah, let's go with this. But also, it could not be, because all of this shit just feels so ridiculous. We plotted for a week and then we fed you the information. A daughter that's 11 years old, I bet he takes it. We thought about giving a fake name or a destination, but you so thirsty you not concerned with investigation. The funny thing is the daughter is the only thing that Drake denied. He took to academics to deny it, and he had some sources go to TMZ to deny it. He didn't deny all the other weird shit that Kendrick was accusing him of, but that's the one thing he stood on. Honestly, I don't believe in anything at this point. Next, Drake turns to Kendrick Lamar's relationship with his fiancée Whitney and how he believes that Dave Free is the father of his child. And why isn't Whitney denying all of the allegations? Why is she following Dave Free and not Mr. Morel? You haven't seen the kids in 6 months. The distance is wild. Dave leaving heart emojis underneath pics of the child. Now on Family Matters, Drake said that Dave was the father of Kendrick Lamar's child, and for the uninitiated, Dave is Kendrick Lamar's former manager and now current business partner at PG Lang. And also Drake said that Kendrick Lamar had put his hands on Whitney, and these are serious allegations that at this point Kendrick Lamar is never going to have to address, and that everyone, in their excitement and dancing to Not Like Us, has completely forgotten about. After this, the rest of the verse goes into some bars that are going to be pivotal in the future of Drake's career. Because I'm making this video 12 hours after the song dropped. Normally I make it in the hours after it dropped, and I have been able to see the furthering of the sea change that is happening against Drake, and these next bars are really what overdid it for most people. Speaking of anything with the child, let's get to that now. This Epstein angle was the shit I expected. TikTok videos you collected and dissected. Instead of being on some disdirect shit, you'd rather fucking grab your pen and misdirect shit. Crazy part is, there's been weirdo air surrounding Drake for a very long time, and any person could have told him that maybe addressing it in this way wasn't the way to do it, and it gets worse later on in the verse. And also, might I add, Drake, you were the one that brought up Kendrick Lamar's fiance on push-ups. You were the one that included family in this. Kendrick hadn't. You were the one that started this. Up next is probably what I believe one of the darkest moments in Drake's career. I'ma say it hard stop. My mom came over today and I was like, mother, wait a second. That's that one record where you say you got molested. Aw, fuck me, I just made the whole connection. This about to get so depressing. This trauma from your own confessions. This when your father leave you home with no protection, so neglected. That's why these pedophile raps and shit you so obsessed with, it's so excessive. Here Drake's using Kendrick Lamar's song Mother I Sober, where Kendrick Lamar tells a story about when he was younger, his family thought he was molested by his cousin. Even though he wasn't, the constant questioning of it led to some trauma for him. And I feel like anyone using someone's trauma from their childhood as an insult is absolutely abhorrent. But for everyone saying that this is the hill they're willing to die on, how come they weren't as equally pissed when Kendrick Lamar wrote an entire verse aimed at Drake's 5-year-old son Adonis, saying that he wishes his grandfather wore a condom? Like, I know there's levels to this shit, but to me, when you pass a certain level, it's all bad. And I've had many disagreements with folks about this, and I'm still arguing in group chats with people about it, but come on, what has happened to us? What are we doing? Like I said in a previous video, when you play in the mud, you get messy, and Kendrick Lamar is getting messy here. Drake uses Kendrick's supposed assault as the reason for why Kendrick is attacking him in the first place. He says this: "I've never been with no one underage, but now I understand why this is the angle that you really mess with. Just for clarity, I feel disgusted. I'm too respected. If I was fucking young girls, I promise I'd have been arrested. I'm way too famous for this shit you just suggested." Bruh, Drake. If there's anything that we've learned over the last 10 years is that no one is too famous for this shit. No one has too much money for this. If anything, the reason that you are so successful and so famous is why you would be able to get away with this. But again, it just proves to me that Drake exists in a bubble and there's no one there to tell him, hey bro, maybe you shouldn't address it like this. And this entire time, Drake's hubris has been his downfall. From the AI diss track using Tupac as a voiceover, to mentioning Whitney on push-ups in the first place, to posting photos with Compton Community College as a way to troll Kendrick Lamar, and the constant trolling. It's like you acted cocky and then someone broke your nose. Drake is not a name that you gonna see a no for sex offender list. Easy does it. You mentioned A minor, but niggas be sharp and tell the fans who was it. You thought you left D flat, D major. I'll slit your throat with the razor and do Rick Ross air like that one flight from Malaysia. Of course, Rick Ross catches a stray here, and he's talking about Rick Ross's emergency landing the other day. Like, come on, structurally the verse is sound. Drake is getting into his multi-syllabic bag. This is something that he does. But what he's saying is just like, wow, bro. And then I feel like this line is where it really gets unhinged. He's mentioning women again that don't need to be mentioned. Only fucking with Whitney's, not Millie Bobby Brown's. I'd never look twice at no teenager. Bruh, is there no one in the studio to say, bro, what are you doing? And plus, there are pictures of you hugging up on teenagers. I don't even want to post them here. But like I said, Drake is a punch-drunk rapper trying to score points at the end of a route. And I do believe he scores some points here, right here. If you still bumping R. Kelly, you could thank the savior. Said if they deleted his music, then your music is going too. A hypocrite. I don't understand why these people praise you, sounding like you send him commissary when he needs some paper. Kendrick Lamar famously said that he would take his music off of Spotify if they took R. Kelly's off of it. And I really feel like there's going to be some hotep in the comments that's going to argue with me, saying that R. Kelly didn't do it, or yada yada yada, or this is cancellation. But Kendrick Lamar sticking his neck out there for R. Kelly of all people was suspect as hell. Finally, Drake wraps up the verse by saying this, and Whitney, you can hit me if you need a favor. And when I say I hit you back, it's a lot safer. Drake bringing up the allegations again, in a way that Kendrick Lamar is never going to have to address his own allegations in the way that Drake just addressed his, clunkily so if anything. This song to me feels like an admission of loss. Like I said at the top of the video, a white flag. And like I said, Drake scored some shots on the way out, and I really feel like he's rapping on this. But when it comes down to it, there are certain allegations that you just can't come back from. And the fact that this entire summer, we are all going to dance to a song where Kendrick Lamar is calling Drake a pedophile is, one, weird to me, but a kill shot. This is the greatest beef in hip-hop history. A Titan went down, and another solidified his spot at the top of the game, and one of the greatest rappers of all time. Both artists came out of it irreparably changed. I'm not looking at Drake or Kendrick the same way ever again. Kendrick I'm looking at like a little crazier, and Drake I'm looking at like taking 2 back-to-back L's in the span of 6 years. He does not have the realm of invincibility that he did before. And as the years go by, I think they're both going to wish they took the J. Cole route and just completely stayed out of it, or kept it strictly rap. Anyways, the last month has been absolutely insane, and I'm happy I did it with y'all. So shout outs to the real ones. If y'all want to support, you know how to do it, and thank you for all the support that has happened so far. It's your boy Jacques. I will see you on the next one, hopefully in a couple days, but probably sooner than that. Peace.